The smell is amazing. It has like this Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to be here and share with you guys some of my recommendations for the Sephora VIB sale. It is currently taking place right now and will end on the 27th. The items that I will be recommending today are items that are my favorites or holy grail items of mine that I think are completely worth the splurge, especially getting them at a discounted price during the sale. So if you would like to know what my recommendations are for the Sephora VIB sale, then just keep on watching. So the first thing I want to recommend is the YSL Touche Cloud All-in-One Glow. This has been one of my favorite foundations lately. Some might not even consider it a foundation, maybe like a tinted moisturizer. It does have SPF 23 in there, so you are protected when you're out and about on your day. What I really love about this is that it just has the most beautiful, natural, glowy finish to it. I like to use this by itself on my more natural days, and I also like to use this as a mixer into other foundations when I'm wanting to tone down other full coverage foundations and to add a little more glow to those foundations. It is what I'm wearing today, and I have this mixed in with the Chanel foundation. Next up is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Cream Bronzer. I have it in the shade 01 Intensity, and this has been one of my favorite. Oh, that is my son's fingerprint. That's how I know they've been playing with my stuff. Anyway, as I was saying, it's just so seamless and blendable on the skin. You really don't have to work too much with it and you can't go wrong with it. I really go ham in with my bronzer, and yet it still works. It never looks patchy or overdone. It doesn't lift or disrupt the foundation underneath, and it's just the perfect shade, perfect texture, perfect blendability. It's good. So next up I have two powders, and I have here the La Mer the powder and also Hourglass the Veil translucent powder. I would recommend either one of these. They're different in their own ways, but they're also very similar in a lot of ways, especially in what they deliver for me. Both these powders I can apply to my entire face to set my foundation, and it really just gives me a beautiful veil. A lot of the times when you have foundation, you care about the finish of the foundation so much, you neglect the type of powder that you're putting on top. Now, the type of powder that you're putting on top is really going to determine what type of finish that you have. So with these powders, it's going to really add that natural, beautiful, luminous, lit from within glow to your skin. And so that's also what I have on my face. And you see this whole like sheen and glowiness to my face. That's the powders. Next up are Patrick Ta blushes. First of all, can we just talk about the packaging? It has like this reflective rose gold color to it. Packaging just resembles Patrick Ta and his whole aesthetic. The two that I have are She's Seductive and She's Sincere, and I've just been using these two together every time I do my makeup because they just give the most beautiful flush of color to the cheeks. They're not overly pigmented, so you really can't mess up with them. They're so blendable, so smooth on the skin. I like to apply She's Seductive into the top of my cheeks and bring it down towards the middle of my cheeks, and then I'll go in with She's Sincere and put that mainly on the apples of the cheeks and then sweep it back a little bit to blend it with the other She's Seductive shade. So these two blushes have just been my go-to blushes that I've been using lately. So if you know me, you know that one of my favorite shadows are Natasha Denona shadows. Depending on what you want to spend, she has different size palettes, and what I really like is that she does have these mini palettes, which is so perfect because you really get to try out her formula without breaking the bank. One that I would recommend is the Mini Glam palette. She has 5 shades in here, and they do come in different finishes. She has the mattes and her metallics in here. My favorite 5-pan palette from her is her Camel palette. This is one of her most popular ones. I really grab this palette every single time I'm doing my shadows. I always use these two transition shades, and I have this shade here in my inner corners and on my brow bone. If you're wanting to try a larger palette, I would recommend the Biba palette or the Gold palette. The Biba palette is going to be a lot more neutral and wearable for you. The Gold palette is just really unique and really special. When I am creating looks, I never feel the need to grab into any other palette, so you really get your money's worth and get a lot of uses out of it when you're spending so much money for it. So the next thing I want to recommend are the velour lashes. Now, lashes are something that we don't think about often and we don't want to spend on, but at the same time we need. This is the Effortless collection by Velour, and I love this collection because it is ideal for those of us who have smaller eyes. It says on here, no measuring, no trimming, no eyeliner, and no drama. And I think that's so true. They're quite small and short, so you really don't need to trim these at all. They're the perfect size for my eyes, where they're not going to be poking the inner corners of my eyes or the outer corners of my eyes. And so these have been my go-to lashes for when I'm also wanting a more natural look. I can rock them. They add the perfect amount of volume and lift to the eyes to just open up the eyes without feeling like I'm overly dramatic with my lashes and that it's not going to go with a natural look. The one that I'm currently wearing is called What I Like. So if you're like me and you're constantly losing your lashes, now is a perfect time to purchase lashes that you're not wanting to usually spend on. So the next thing that I want to recommend is the Tom Ford eyeliner. This is my favorite eyeliner because it's so smooth, so black, so inky. It never skips, it doesn't bleed. Whenever you have to go over any product that's already laid down, it never picks up the product. A lot of liners do that when they skip, and then you have to reapply the product, and then the moment you go over a part that already has the liner product down on the eyelid, then it picks up that product and it's just a whole disaster. But this liner doesn't even skip to begin with, so you don't have to deal with that anyway. So aside from makeup products, I want to recommend the Cleansing Spa Water Wipes by Kojin Do. These are my absolute favorite cleansing wipes. I discovered this when Kathleen Lights recommended it, and I just fell in love with it since then, and I have just never used anything else. This is the first product that I go with when I'm taking off makeup at the end of the day before I go in with a cleanser. And what I really love about it also is that the cloth itself is so thick that it literally feels like an actual fabric cloth. It doesn't feel thin and like it's going to rip and makeup's going to saturate it completely like other cloths do. I can really use one side and then go in with the other side and still feel like it's going to do a good job at removing more makeup. After using the wipes, it never leaves an oily or slippery film over your face, and it just feels so nice and clean. And this does such a good job at removing all of the makeup, even waterproof makeup. I use one wipe and it just takes off a full coverage face. So next is the Living Proof Full Dry Volume Blast. I don't even know where the cap is because I use it so much. First off, the smell is amazing. It has like this fruity but fresh, and I don't know how to explain it. Go smell it at Sephora. It doesn't make the hair feel wet or crunchy and sticky like other texturizers will do. It really does instantly add volume and texture to your hair. Like for example, days like this when I have my hair lightly curled, I would just spray it on and then I would do the same thing to my entire head, and instantly you can see. So I always use this every single time I curl my hair. Alrighty guys, so that wraps up my recommendations for this Sephora VIB sale. I hope that you enjoyed this video and spending some time with me. Please leave a comment down below on some of your recommendations so that we can help each other out. And if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel down below so you don't miss my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for the support, and I will see you on my next video. Bye! Because of how well the liquid product actually works and comes out of the tip.